Are we gradually degenerating into one day one trouble in my country, Nigeria? Because the whole thing is becoming interesting with APC and their government. Recall that during former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, there was some amusing reports of animals being accused of stealing. Here are some notable ones. 1. A snake was accused of stealing 36 million naira. That was in 2018. A snake was famously accused of stealing 36 million naira from the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB office in Makurdi, Benue State. 2. In 2018. A monkey was accused of stealing 70 million naira from a politician's home in Abuja. 3. In 2019, a goat was accused of stealing a phone from a market. Wow, we are doing well in this country. From a snake to a monkey, from a monkey to a goat. But do you think that this report was exaggerated? If you think that this report was exaggerated, let me give you the latest, because the report I am about to share with you guys happened in JAMB office. Don't forget that in 2018, the monkey, according to report that stole money, also stole that money from the JAMB office. And the person that was giving this query is under the APC government. And the person that gave him the query is also a member of the APC government. Okay, here the report. Did mosquitoes take all your money? National Assembly queries JAMB Registrar Oloyede over 800 million naira for fumigation, 1.1 billion naira for meals. The JAMB Registrar, Professor Oloyede, had made the disclosure while defending the agency's 2025 budget proposal before the National Assembly Joint Committee on Finance. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has stated that it spent 1.1 billion naira on meals and refreshments and another 800 million naira on security, cleaning and fumigation in 2024. Oloyede revealed that in 2024, JAMB remitted 4 billion naira to the Consolidated Revenue Fund and received 6 billion naira grant from the Nigerian government. This did not sit well with the committee, which questioned why a self-funding agency like JAMB was still receiving government funding. Abiodun Faleke, the chairman of the House Committee on Finance, raised concerns, asking, you remitted 4 billion naira and got 6 billion naira from the federal government. Why not keep the 4 billion naira and we stop the government from funding JAMB? Senator Adams Oshomere also criticized the agency's expenditure, questioning, you spent 1.1 billion naira on meals and refreshments. Are you being freely fed by the government? What this means is that you are spending the money you generate from poor students, many of them orphans. Oshomole further queried JAMB's 850 million spending on security, cleaning and fumigation, asking, what did you fumigate? Is it mosquitoes that took all this money? He also condemned the 600 million naira spent on local travel and pressed Oloyede to justify the 6.5 billion naira allocated for local training. Wow, this is unbelievable. 1.1 billion naira for refreshment and meals for JAMB officers. This is unbelievable. I don't believe that this is happening in this country. Do you know that these people are well paid? JAMB officers, they are well paid. So why are we still giving them 1.1 billion naira for meals and refreshment? Whereas, if you go to the IDP camp, go to Abuja IDP camp, go to Benue IDP camp, you see people that are walloping in hunger. You see people that have not eaten for days. And nobody cares about them. Only P2B is one politician that we know that do visit them and always remember them. Instead of the federal government, the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to spend 1.1 billion naira on people that don't have anybody to assist them, they are budgeting 1.1 billion naira on JAMB. This is unbelievable. I don't still believe that something like this is still happening in my country, Nigeria. I don't believe that. In addition, 850 million naira was spent on fumigation, cleaning, and security. This is unbelievable. What actually is happening in this country? You heard the question Oshomole asked him, did you use all the money on mosquitoes? What actually did you use the money for? According to the JAMB Registrar that was present at that committee defense, he told us that the government gave them 6 billion naira and they remitted 4 billion naira. Where is something like this happening? Even those that did economy in this country, they will tell you that this is not a good business. How can they give you 6 billion naira and you bring back 4 billion naira? What happened to the remaining 2 billion naira? When you told us that you budgeted 1.1 billion naira on meals and refreshments, you also told us that 850 million naira was for security, fumigation, and cleaning. And you also told us that 600 million naira was for transportation. Oga, what happened to the remaining 2 billion naira? The government gave you 6 billion naira. 6 billion naira taxpayers' money. And the children, orphans, students across Nigeria who wrote JAMB also paid in 2024. You never told us how much they paid, but you told us that you returned 4 billion naira. You have not told us what happened to the remaining 2 billion naira. This cannot continue to happen in this country. Imagine a government abandon his own people, abandon the orphans, the IDP people, and the government is now feeding people that he is also paying, feeding them with 1.1 billion naira on refreshment and meals. This cannot be happening in this 21st century, and nobody is talking. Can you imagine giving you 6 billion naira, taxpayers' money, 6 billion naira, and you returned 4 billion naira? This is not a good business. If you ask my fellow Igbo brothers, they will tell you that this is not a good business. Your Oga cannot open a shop for you with 6 billion naira. And after maybe years, and you are returning 4 billion naira to your Oga. No profits. And the money that he gave you to start up the business, 6 billion naira, it is not even complete. This is not a good business. If you should ask me, JAMB is supposed to be one of those agencies of government that is supposed to be squashed. I don't see any benefit of having JAMB. Once a student have written WAEC and he made 5 credits according to you people, the next thing that student should do is to proceed to the university. The university should be the one to examine that student to see if they can admit him, not JAMB. Bringing JAMB after WAEC is something else. Do you know how much students, poor students, orphans pay to sit for JAMB? And at the end of the day, they will tell this child that you did not make up to 200. You have to wait for another 1 year. Do you know what it means to sit at home for another 1 year? And we're having a JAMB that was given 6 billion to return 4 billion. This is not a good business. If I should advise the federal government, JAMB should be squashed. What do you think? Drop a comment for me.